kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse...
So you guys can go someplace else, because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice presidents who vote against the money that George asked for, the members' money.
What's poppin'? Y'all already know what it is, and as I always say, it ain't nothing new under the sun. So, for all of my 1199 SEIU members, especially those of you that are at LOC, or as is also known as CMC, the Center for Musculoskeletal Care, which was my old employment area, right? My old location of employment, rather. So for those of you that are there, you're probably all familiar with Lil Judy and Carmen Batista. Well, the reason we're going to talk about Lil Judy today is because when Jack and Jill went up the hill to go to delegates training and learn how to properly do their job, well, little Miss Judy stayed behind. And not once did she ever think to just read the contract. You know, that CBA, that legal binding document or agreement that stipulates what is and is not allowed in the workplace by the employee or employer. Yeah, that thing. Well, we'll show you a couple of things of how clearly you can see she doesn't know what she's doing or even what the grievance process is. So when you get a write-up and you're dependent on her to do what's right to make you whole, she doesn't even take the time to learn the job that she volunteered to do with no pay. So you have to ask yourself is, why is she there? Now, we can't blame all that on her, because clearly she answers to somebody. Just like I used to have to answer to Campo Santos. Well, she's now the organizer or acting organizer, whether she's working in a contract administrator capacity. But she is, for all intents and purposes, the current organizer over LOC, aka CMC, the Center for Musculoskeletal Care at NYU Langone, in which my old department, NYU Rusk, Physical and Occupational Therapy, Director Deborah Newman, managers John Salvatore and Jennifer Gallinaro, and for good measure with one of the supervisors, or ex-supervisors, Fiona Moore. Y'all have heard the audio from Jose Labraca, so on and so forth. Well, all that is tied into all of this. But that being said, when I was wrongfully terminated, which I've shown everyone the footage, last April, when I had to go for my unemployment, which they denied, well, once the state saw and heard my evidence, I won on appeal because I was wrongfully terminated. But for Mr. Scotty Too Hottie, the representative at NYU that denied my grievance when we went, at which Miguel and Jacqueline Hubbard, you know, the one that removed me. Anyways, but yeah, were the organizers on that case, as well as my man Gullah. Y'all remember Gullah. Well, I'm saying all that to say this. Since that time, as I've said before, my case with the EEOC has gone into conciliation. So, for those that don't know what the conciliation process actually is or what it means, I'm just going to throw that up on the screen, and you can look that over while I'm saying and talking my shit. But after my grievance was denied, we went to, what's that, hearing and appeals, in which there were 3 delegates that listened to everything that we had to explain was happening so that we could go to arbitration. Oddly enough, after the hearings and appeals, according to Miguel, which he told my delegate, my brother Gullah, we had won arbitration and we're going to arbitration. Oddly enough, about a week and a half later, when old Campo Santos came back from one of her mini excursions, or she ain't never around vacations, somebody changed their vote. And oddly enough, it was one Miss Carmen Batista. To which I made Mr. Boom Boom Pandiard. Come here, dear, let me see your rear. Dirty Dick Ashby, which I let him know. But of course, he always claimed he knew nothing about my case, even though Stacey Gray said for the last 3 years that my name was ringing bells in high places and had individuals in both institutions a little leery of what was going on, because I was ruffling. Oh, not as she said, I wasn't ruffling feathers. I was, and
work on not getting on social media. Okay, you get on it. That's your privilege. I ain't telling you not to. Just be cautious of your delivery when you're on it, because that causes prejudgment too, and it looks like a venting outlet. So everybody doesn't take that well.
You know what? And I understand that, and that's why I said when we first sat down, I said it bothered me that I had to get to that extent, because I had to do that to get anyone to even take me serious. And the thing is, they weren't taking me serious. They just didn't like what I was saying and the avenue where I was saying it. Because up until that point, nobody wanted to hear nothing I had to say.
Let me be honest with you on that one. It could raise concerns for everybody. Because that's how I knew who you were.
Because I was rocking the boat.
You was rocking more than the boat. The steering wheel, you was kicking cans off that damn boat. You was doing your thing. And I ain't mad at you.
But this is the thing.
But I'm just saying, it raised more than just, yeah, you rocked the boat. You know I'm not going to dispute you on that. But it raised a whole lot of other concerns.
But my question is, why did I have to get to that point?
The suppression of not addressing you also added to that. And that's what I got out of it.
That's the only reason it happened, because I went to HR once.
Yes.
And they did nothing. I went back around the same loop. I followed the chain of command twice. It wasn't until the second. Put it to you this way. This been going on 6 years. And I've been doing it. Finally, I decided about 2 years ago to take a stand.
And after you came from rehab, right? And they know all the things you went through, the loss of your wife, this, that, and the other. See, they started looking at you as you was going off on the deep end.
But I wasn't. And I told them that. And I'm like,
but you're coming to work.
But they're pushing me, and they're doing the things that they're doing. And then they're wondering why when I tell them, like, yo, you're harassing me. You're letting patients come in here and tell me that they don't want to see me and a coworker because we're black and we send us home. And it's like, okay, fine, we do it. Don't complain about it. But no matter what happens, you keep telling me I'm wrong, even when I'm not doing anything wrong. And you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And all I was asking was, just leave me alone, let me do my job.
Kicking the can down the road, rocking the boat, and sinking the ship, as she put it. But anyways, we'll start off with the conversation that I had with Mr. Ashby in regards to the actions of his organizer who got a promotion at my expense. I hope you're enjoying that, Miss Batista, because believe me when I tell you, all good things come to an end. And like I said before, I can't help those who don't want to fight for themselves, but I'm not going to stop until I'm made whole. And everybody that had something to do with it or was a part of it, your ass is just going to get put down. Figuratively, of course, because I don't believe in violence, because I want to show all my peers there's always a way. And it's not that the system's broken. We're just not utilizing the rules to our benefit. And that's why I'm doing it this way. So that being said, we're going to roll some of this audio for your listening pleasure so that you can see exactly who and what your dues are going to. Because remember, Miss Batista was not elected. Oh, no. She was selected by the members' first unity slate. And those that are selected, just like you heard in the last video with Mr. Dyer.
The vote, but it will be between David Dyer and Rayburn Bay. So we are asking you all to vote for David Dyer. So we are asking you all to vote for David Dyer. David Dyer. David Dyer. The original person who's a part of the hearing and appeals with Rayside already.
Because remember, he was also on the same Hearing and Appeals Board. So just like they told you that Yvonne and them told all the delegates and everyone else that they had to vote for Mr. Dyer because he was the one that was chosen. He was a part of this same Hearing and Appeals Board because every institution has one, and they want to make sure that all their members are on there, because when they time you out in your grievances, they just push you down the line, put you out the pasture, and guarantee and bank on you not doing what you have to do to hold them accountable. But that being said, a little bit less talking and more walking. Let's get to it.
The lady I spoke to said someone would reach out to me. In 24 to 48 hours, but I never heard anything. And then when I emailed back, 2 separate times I didn't hear anything. But my EEOC investigator was asking, what's the status of my case?
So, to my understanding, you had a termination grievance that was held.
Correct.
The termination grievance was denied. I believe they took it to the chapter here in appeals. It was also denied, and I think the status of the case right now is waiting for division here in appeals to hear the case.
But
is my understanding.
And just know and understand that every step of the process that you're hearing him break down, divisions, hearing, and appeals, it's all part of an elaborate design that they've already got set up because they don't want to pay the $12,500 for the arbitration, which the cost of it is nothing even close to that. But they do this so that they can purposely time out your grievances so that you no longer can fight them and go through the process. So then when it comes time to, when they want to create a narrative, if they have to get rid of somebody for being non-compliant, there you go. Believe me when I tell you, the union is not there for you. They work for the institution. That's why the majority of the organizers are contract administrators. Because again, contract administrators, though they work in the capacity of an organizer, half of their salary is paid by $11.99, and the other half of their salary is paid out of whatever institution they come out of. Just ask Ruthless Toothless, aka Snuff the Magic Snow Dragon. She knows, she's been in CA for years. Isn't that right, ma'am? And she's continued to dog walk her members as she's told ever since. Trust me, because I am Exhibit A. The only difference is that I spun the block, and I'm not going to stop until I'm made whole. And each and every one of you, if you're going through something similar, get your receipts, file state board charges on the institution as well as the union.
Appeals to hear the case.
But
is my understanding.
the individuals that denied my case, they didn't even look at the evidence that we gave them. And I know they didn't because we gave it to them on links. And the way I set it up is that every time someone watches it, I'm notified. They never even look at the evidence. So how could they make a determination about my case
Metadata.
without even reviewing the evidence?
Analytics. Got that
I
ass.
find it odd
Gotcha,
that
bitch.
one of them that makes a decision after Evelyn comes back from vacation is now a organizer all of a sudden. None of this is making sense. And I've been trying to fight this case now I've been going back and forth with this for 3 years now, and not once has any organizer,
That was a
anybody,
year ago.
even when I met with Stacey Gray, has anyone done anything to assist me. I've had to do everything on my own. And my EEOC case is now in conciliation, which means I've proven my case, which means that 1199 has refused to represent me as a union-paying member. And nobody's telling me anything. Nobody's giving me any answers, and nobody's doing their job. But everyone's acting like I'm the problem.
So here's what I could say to you. You had a grievance. I believe you had a delegate of your choice. You went to the employer denied your grievance. It went to
Because y'all didn't do your job.
The chapter committee. The chapter committee denied, and the next step now is to go to the division. The division.
But I'm still trying to. But sir, you're not giving me an answer on why your committee denied my hearing without even looking at the evidence, sir.
So when
Can you ask that, Mr. Can you answer that, Mr. Ashby?
preview to your case.
I still want to know.
I don't know anything about your case. You reached out. I'm following up with you. The process, the next step in this process is that it
I
will now
reached
go
out.
to the division here in appeals.
But
I sent this lame cornball an email like 2 months before I went down there. And he never once replied to the email. It wasn't until they found out my case was going into conciliation that all of a sudden, now he wants to reply. And the first thing this dumbass said to me was, mind you, I sat with his, at the time, assistant, Miss Gina. Wonderful, wonderful human being from the time that I sat with her. Because all she did was make sure that she did what she was supposed to do, which was her job. So I ain't got nothing ill to say about Miss Gina. She and I actually shared our stories with one another. So she understands what's going on behind the scenes too. And if you ever need anything, ma'am, I did document that. Because I know you've had issues with that punk ass nigga too, threatening to put his hands on people. But these are the type of individuals that SEIU protects. Just like the same thing with Tyreek the PP Lee. I mean, you've seen the No Woman Protected video where they protect sexual predators and rapists. Then they give them promotions and more filia, more plata, yeah, more paper, more fatty, more green. It's like they rewarding diabolical, demonic behavior. But if you know what I know, you'd understand why. But anyways, let me not get off track. So, back to Mr. Ashby. I don't know nothing about your case. Dirty dick fucking for jobs, bitch.
But I understand that, but what I'm trying to understand is I came down there 2 months ago, and I was told that within 24 to 48 hours I would hear back. Hold on, one moment, sir. I came down there 2 months ago, but I was told I would hear something in 24 to 48 hours. I know that you spoke to my delegate after that saying you would call us the next day, and never anything. And I not only emailed you, I also emailed who was the organizer at the time, Evelyn, and I think it was Jasmine as well. But nobody's reached out and said anything. And these are the things that I'm talking about when I say 1199 doesn't do their job, and then you leave the members out there alone to do your job for them.
I am telling you, the next step is your grievance will now go to the division hearing appeals. The hearing appeals, I will check in with our legal team to find out when is it scheduled for. I know that there was a backlog. I will find out to get.
But how can I trust in that process if in the last process?
So let me say this to you. It's up to you whether you trust it or not. I'm following up with you to let you know what.
But I'm explaining to you, sir, that your staff did not even look at the evidence. Hold on, Mr. Ashby.
All right, so
you do understand.
I'm not going to sit and relitigate something that I have no knowledge about. I am saying.
But I'm telling you this, and you act like you don't care, and you're talking over me like everyone else does. You all simply don't care, and that's the problem. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you, sir.
But if you're saying I'm like everyone else, then it tells me that this is an ongoing issue. This is my first time speaking to you, and I'm trying to explain to you.
Because I came down there.
When I say people do not hear themselves and do not see themselves, that right there was a perfect example. When you tell me I'm like everyone else, that tells me there's an ongoing issue. Yet his dumbass ain't even tried yet to hear what anybody's ever said to him or do his job. But he admits there has to be an ongoing issue. This is the vice president, executive vice president of NYU Langone. But y'all elected him after we tried to warn you.
Because I came down there 2 months ago, you refused to answer any email. You can see the email chain that I've been keeping in correspondence. This is the first time that you've even thought about responding to me. So no, you are acting like everyone else.
And his assistant put my information in the very first original email.
Are you crazy?
But the first thing this nigga said when he emailed me was, "What's your phone number?" I don't know. Look at the original email, you dumbass.
You're gonna have one real soon, okay?
But this is what our dudes is paying for. The incompetence and the ineptness of these visitors. Our ancestors fought for this disrespect.
Okay, are you still interested in pursuing this complaint?
Wild work.
Okay, are you available for a telephone interview on Tuesday, July 15th? No? Yeah, Tuesday, July 15th or Wednesday, July 16th?
Wednesday, 16th.
The 16th. Okay, is 11:30 good or do you need a different time?
That's fine.
Okay, so I'm going to send you an email. Is 69 email a good email for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So in the email, I'll have my contact information if you have any questions. And I'm going to email you the appointment time, and it's over the telephone, so you don't have to come into the office.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay?
All right.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You as well. Take care.
All right. Bye.
That was my original EEOC intake interview that led to I'm on that ass. This is how long we waited. Because they were late. They were late.
Hello. Hey, buddy. Hey, what's going on? All right. Captain, you there? All right, cool. So this is Captain Union Appeals. We're gonna go over introductions first. We're gonna introduce ourselves so everybody knows who we are. And then I'll go over the ground rules because I won't be on the call.
Miguel Santana.
Meeting starts, okay? So I'm Miguel Santana. I'm the organizer for NYU.
It's Jacqueline Hubbard Massey, CA.
She was also organizer on my grievance.
Carmen Batista, I'm a delegate from NYU.
Miss Batista!
Hi, I'm Valerie Casey. I'm one of the delegates from NYU.
Step your ass to the motherfucker front of the classroom. We got to have a conversation. Mija. This is what I mean about this whole POC coalition.
Yes.
Bullshit. This is what our ancestors fought for. To get dog walked by the motherfuckers we invited through the door. And then through every step of the process when we fight it, they're there as our direct opposition. I'm showing you outright.
With the assistance of his delegate to help, clarify any questions that they may have. You were going to have an hour. If it goes past an hour, that's fine. I know we started a little late, but the committee was having a little trouble getting on. But now we're all here. So if it runs past, that's fine. It's no problem at all, okay?
You heard in the last video, they didn't know when the emails was coming because they don't know logistics. They can't use Zooms and shit because they have problems. They don't know what they're doing. Your man told you. They didn't send their best. They sent their worst. And they all came with an agenda. You see what happened to George Gresham. Don't think Veronica Turner bankruptcy Biggs just happened to fall down here from Boston. Believe and know the same thing she did here, she did somewhere else before she got here. They're not elected, they're selected. Read the room, ladies and gentlemen. Go back and everything I've shown you and told you. Allow yourself to fall down those rabbit holes. And you'll soon realize ain't nothing I'm telling you false, false, fiction, fabrication, or conspiracy. All fact.
Okay. We will, once the committee comes up with a decision, or they're finished asking your questions, they'll say thank you for your time. They'll let you go off the call. They'll reconvene with themselves. They'll send a decision to the union, and then the union then will send out the letter of what your next steps are. Okay. All right. Any questions? No. So I'm gonna jump off, right? And Jackie will also jump off. Once the committee is done asking your questions and they said you can go, one of them will text me and tell me to jump back on the call. I'll jump on the call, and then we'll take it from there. Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill. All right, guys. Thank you.
My name is Carmen. Could you tell us a little bit about your case and what led up to your dismissal from NYU?
What led up to my dismissal for about the last 5 or 6 years, I had been having an ongoing situation with management where I had been being singled out and discriminated against, and it got to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. So I started speaking to them about it. When I first started speaking with them, I started with the supervisors, and then from there I went up to the managers, to which point I spoke to someone in HR.
LeBrocca, Austin Bender.
Someone from HR, and nothing came of it. So I started the process again, and the second time I started the process, I met with Jose LeBrocca and Laura Goodwin, as well as
Ruthless
my
Toothless,
Kevin Richardson. I advised them of what was going on, and I spoke of a few other things that were going on in my department and in the institution as well, because in this time frame, at that time frame, I was also a delegate. So after meeting with Jose LeBrocca,
I didn't know that was you, bro.
Yeah. Now, she went to Austin. She was in Austin for years.
We got a plaque on HR and all that shit. It's interesting because when I go back and tell the girls, guess who I was with today? And I'm like, oh shit, I was there. So, contrary to belief, I'm actually pretty cool. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. So the angry black man thing don't work with me. And the Spanish girl thing don't work with me. I don't see color at work. I don't play that shit. I want you to know that.
No.
I'm gonna keep it 110 with you. I don't play the angry black dude because they play the angry Spanish dude with me too. I know anything that comes out of our mouth will be used against us.
She knows that.
Angry.
She knows that is
The words.
and
I'm
that's
not
why-
certain she even knows that she's Hispanic, Hamada. Don't even get me started. I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic, Hamada. Don't even get me started. I'm not certain she even knows that she's Hispanic, Hamada. Don't even get me started. So, I'm keeping 100 with you.
for about maybe a month or two, things had kind of quieted down, but then they started back. And I saw him once after that, and he basically told me that the things were the way that they were, and that basically that's how they were going to stay. So because I had went through the channels I went through, I really had no way of proving what was going on, because at that point, I had had a few recorded conversations. And the reason I recorded the conversations was because New York is a one-party state, and under one-party state rule, under the law, as long as one party is aware of a recording, then under the law it is legal. And it was one of the reasons that it was instituted was for situations like corporate espionage or entrapment, things of that nature. So because of that, I started recording my meetings that I was having with management because nobody believed what was being done and what was being said behind closed doors. So during the meeting I had with LeBrock, I actually let him listen to like 1 or 2 of them, and he himself said that he could see what was going on. And I say Laura was present, as well as Beth Cooper, who said that it appeared that they were trying to make me seem as if I was aggressive and that I wasn't doing my job. Even though...
Y'all remember Miss Beth Cooper? If you don't, let's revisit.
So basically, you know, anytime there's an allegation, right, this is just allegation, and what we're trying to do is find the facts, find out what happened. So anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, so anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, so anytime there's an allegation that someone may have made a comment about a protected class, especially when the department receives it in writing, there needs to be further discussion about it. So today is really to discuss about it. So I don't have all the facts.
That's the protected class right there. Nunu and her triune.
Okay. Yeah, she played stupid too, but you know what they say. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And everybody about to hit the jackpot round this motherfucker.
They all admitted that I was doing my job. My behavior had been the best that it was since my wife had died, and so on and so forth.
Is that right, Johnny boy? I got that all on tape.
Basically, after that happened and I realized that they weren't going to do anything, I continued to record, and then after that, they started trying to always pull me in the office for things, saying that I was doing things that wasn't happening, and I had no way to prove it. So I basically started documenting my days at work every day.
9 to 5.
The more I would speak to them, the worse it would get. So I started talking about my life experiences on my personal my personal social media page, and they didn't like it. So in one of the instances, they wrote me up, to which I used Kevin Richardson as my delegate, and in that meeting, which I did record and share, they stated that where they wrote me up at was a hallway, because we were going back and forth because they pulled me out. They were basically questioning me, and what I said was a patient care area, and that's why I recorded it, but they said it wasn't a patient care area, it was a hallway.
I recorded a departmental meeting that occurred in the patient care area and posted it on social media. You were directed multiple times by management to cease recording in a patient care area, and you did not comply with management's directive. This letter outlines the details of your insubordination and policy violations. Please surrender your ID and any keys that you may have prior to leaving the premises.
Quick question. You talking about the meeting with the incident with Fiona?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about the meeting? Yeah, with Fiona, correct? So, New York State states I have the right to... Let me finish.
Go ahead.
States I have the right to record, right? Now, this woman here, Debbie Newman, stated that she did an investigation, to which she said everyone denied my claims, which I have on tape. Fiona walking on my face. In fact, you saw Fiona the tape, right?
We're not gonna debate.
No, I'm speaking though. It's not about debate.
We're not gonna discuss it.
That's fine, but I have my opportunity to speak, so I'm going to speak. Period. Since you terminate me, I'm going to speak. So she breaks the law. I record it, and y'all get mad because you're caught out there, right? And it is what it is, because you lied and said that you did an investigation, which we know you didn't, because I know who you spoke to, and I have them on tape saying what they told you. So we're going to play this game, and that's fine. But just like everything else, I have 6 terabytes of everything that's been going on in here, and I'm going to just make sure it gets to my lawyer.
This meeting is now concluded.
I know it is, because you're scared.
So,
He took his supplements and put on his mask, but in what area? Was he coming out of the bathroom? Was he in the staff lounge? Where was he at when they told him to put on his mask? Was he drinking water? Was he eating something? Was he on lunch? That is very vague of what they're stating.
What time?
Okay. All right, yeah, as I said, let's continue on with the union, and then
Now that day in the write-up, they said, when I said them questioning me, Debbie out her mouth said, no, we didn't question you in the patient care area. We questioned you in a hallway. So when it happened that day when me and Kevin had the meeting, Debbie herself said, when I said about Fiona questioning me in the patient care area in front of staff and patients, which I recorded, they said, no, it's not a patient care area. You were questioned in a hallway. But then when they used the same video to terminate me, it went from a hallway to a patient care area. And I have all that on tape. I also have the statement from Cam saying that Fiona walked up in my face, as well as other rehab attendants. This is why I started recording, because every time I would say something was happening, you see what's in the write-ups. It's all lies.
You did take them seriously, what you had written in your email, and I did do an investigation and asked multiple people about what occurred at that huddle, and no one substantiated or commented that Fiona was...
I'm going to tell you why you're lying.
It was quite the opposite.
I'm going to tell you why you're lying.
I'm not lying.
Because every staff member told me what they saw, Debbie, and I recorded it. And I recorded the meeting. So thank you for the lie. And Friday, when you had the conversation with me, it was an extended conversation about performance, right? In a patient care area. So...
That was actually a hallway.
No, that's the Sports Performance Center. The green's right there. Lacey walked by, and building services also walked by at the same time. So people were welcome, and right there, Lacey walked by.
That was actually a hallway.
No station about performance, right? In a patient care area. So
that was actually a hallway.
I stepped out of my office. First, I don't consent to be recorded, and this is a patient care area.
Well, okay. First of all, I don't know what. But then the day that they terminated me, they used that same video.
And just know, at some point when I do the deep dive on Miguel and Miss Hubbard, they themselves pointed out that I never violated any of NYU's photography policies or any of the policies at all. This came out of their mouth during my grievance with a little Scotty too hottie. But everybody want to play dumb now. But again, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
I've broken the dress code.
I'm going to have a conversation with the delegate. I'm going to ask you to...
But I'm asking you a question, though. I understand.
Yes, it's not part of the dress code.
Show me where it's not part of the dress code,
That's
please.
not the updated version.
So then grab... Okay, so then just show me the updated version.
I'm not having this conversation.
Well, then show me the updated version in writing, Jenny, and I'll gladly take it off.
The delegate with you.
Is that out of line? I'm asking for it in writing. As a union member, that's my right. I know the contract. I was a delegate for years. You don't. This is why you keep making mistakes. You want it off? Show it to me in writing in the current dress code, please. That's all I'm asking. I'm asking you.
It's not part of the uniform, Mike.
Okay, so then please, if it's in the dress code and I'm wrong, all I'm asking is, just like the last time when you told me I was wrong, I still never got an answer to that email. No one showed me a policy where I broke any policy, because you can't. Now, you want the scarf off? By all means, I'll do it. I don't have a problem, because I've done anything and everything y'all have always asked me to do, but you're going to stop harassing me, especially you. So, you want the scarf off? Please provide it. And then, so, nowhere in here does it say no. So then, we need to get it done. And we're during the meeting time, so there shouldn't be anyone in here. That's fine, but I don't trust her. I'll be honest with you. If you want to talk, we can talk separately, but I'm not talking to her alone. It is ridiculous, and if you know what's been going on, because you know I've been documenting everything, so you all can act like and say what you want, but I've got it all.
I'm going to ask you to go home. I'm going to ask you to go home.
For what?
And we'll contact you to have a meeting with the delegate.
Go home for what?
We've been asking you to follow directives. I'm not having this conversation. I'm going to ask you to go home.
But you can't show me anything in writing. That directive is your personal bias and your personal opinion, Jennifer.
It's not fair to follow it.
A directive based on what, Fiona? You can't show it to me in writing.
It's a managerial directive.
But if you're telling me that I'm breaking...
the scarf because it's not part of the uniform and you're refusing to follow it.
We are allowed to wear jackets and scarves in this place, are we not?
It's not part of the uniform.
I hope y'all all enjoy coming in first place, because if you're not first, you're last.
But then the day that they terminated me, they used that same video and said because I posted it online and it was in a patient care area, that it was a violation of NYU policy.
Ain't that right, Fiona?
For terminating. To make
funny.
a long story short.
Your man ain't make sinners for nothing. I had to live it to understand what the movie meant. Literally. Ask Rick Child.
So was that like an instant termination? That was a final?
Yes, because we had a meeting. I want to say it was 2 weeks before that, and that was the meeting they were talking about when I posted the clip. Because in the meeting, Kevin asked them were there any other issues. Because in that meeting they were upset about it was about a mask issue. And in the meeting, when they brought up the video, he asked were there any other issues, and they said no. So we had already spoken about it in that meeting. But then 2 weeks later, the termination happened. And I asked them in the meeting, during my termination, I was like, we had the prior conversation about it, and I said, when we had the last meeting, when you wrote me up for the mask, you specifically said that it wasn't a patient care area, it was a hallway. But now today that you're trying to terminate me, now you're telling me that it's a patient care area.
Ain't that right, Nunu?
Of the policy.
The funniest shit though was when I caught that bitch Deborah Newman in a lie. All she could say was, "Whatever, man." Afghan looking ass. Like an Afghani poodle and shit. Wild work, bro.
Did you have any other discipline with NYU?
Yes. I had disciplinary actions for other things though. There was one issue where I had a scarf.
My moutoir.
This was, I want to say,
which
I think last
I've shown everybody that.
July.
They lied about that.
And I had a scarf.
And I wasn't out of dress code.
And I had been wearing the scarf for about 2.5, maybe 3 months. And then one day they pulled in the office and they told me that a patient had complained that I was trying to make a political statement. So I explained to them that it wasn't a political statement. You know, that what the scarf actually was. So, long story short, I wore my scarf because there was that. I'm sorry, pardon me. Prior to this, they always told us that if it was, because sometimes it gets cold in the gym, if it was cold, we were allowed to wear either scarves or sweaters, which most of the staff does, which I actually did take and document all of the staff who wear scarves and sweaters. So a few weeks after that, they approached me on the floor about wearing my scarf. So I asked them if they could show me in the dress code where I was out of dress code, because they told me that I was out of dress code on this date. And I said, I have no problem taking it off to show me where I'm out of dress code, because you've always allowed us to wear scarves and sweaters, but now all of a sudden now it's an issue. So they sent me home that day, and I ended up being home for 2 weeks. And then the final determination was they wrote me up and suspended me for a week for that instance.
And mind you, every time I needed a grievance, they were sending my information to the wrong address and email. And I went down to the union hall and told them they were sending it to the wrong email, to which Shorty told me, well, you see that camera right there? It's going to show that you were here. A fucking week later, guess what? Wrong email address again. But, like I said, all those receipts will be soon coming. Because now, taking the gloves off and everything's going on the table for everybody. If you walked out of that building and you left me there with your patient, it's on tape. Especially if you violated and shitted on my name, just know it's coming. And I will be sending that shit to the real pig dogs, because Jaco gotta know what's actually happening in NYU with all of the licensed professionals.
Do you have anything else you wish to add so that we could know?
When you say add, as far as
anything else you want to tell us about your experiences?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, so the whole time I was there was all types of harassment. Like, there were times where, there was one time where management pulled me in the office and they told me that the therapists were complaining that I was talking to a specific, they first said that we were talking too much. So, through the course of this conversation, you know, I asked them several questions, and I asked them, was anyone complaining about my work ethic? Was anyone complaining about my behavior? Was anyone saying that I wasn't available to do my job when I wasn't? To which they always said no. And I said, so if they say I'm talking too much, but my job's being done and everything is done, there's nothing to complain about, what's the actual issue? And I explained to them that it wasn't that I was talking too much, they just didn't like who I was speaking to specifically. Which the managers actually admitted that I was correct and that they didn't like who I was speaking to.
They just don't like Negroes
communicating
communicating that
There
word.
would be issues where,
because that's the only person I was talking to at that time at all, because of what I was dealing with.
we use in the department, and I would follow the protocol of how the process is supposed to be handled, but then when there was a break in that chain, I would be the one pulled in the office and questioned about it, and I recorded all of these instances. There were times where me and another co-worker were sent home because a patient came in and he specifically said that he wanted us terminated and that he didn't want to see us because we were black. So they told us not to clock out, to just go home, and that they would fix the time in the system. I mean, there was a multitude of things over the years that have happened. I even gave a lot of the information like the information that I use for my grievance. I gave a lot of the recordings to Miguel and NYU as just a brief idea of what was happening. But I have over 6 terabytes. I have over 3,000 hours of everything that actually went on in there every day.
And I gave you the same thing I gave the EEOC as evidence for this shit, but for some reason they ruled in my favor, but y'all couldn't.
But that's about it.
Oh, it's because you never looked at it. And my delegate about to get to work. We're going to watch Gullah go to work.
I have spoken to a lawyer in reference to my issue.
Now, I always tell them anything I feel like telling them as I reveal the method. But there's a reason why they ask you if you have sought out legal counsel. Because once they know that you know what they don't want you to know, they tighten up. But I knew that. So, sometimes you got to give a person enough rope to hang themselves. I mean, you know what? Never mind. But sometimes you'd be better off paying attention to patterns yourselves and what people are saying to you, because I reveal the method in everything that I do. That way nobody can ever spin the block and say, oh, we didn't know. Nah, I told you I was recording you. You just wasn't listening to nothing I was saying, dummy.
To my issue, but I have not actually obtained a lawyer yet, no. But I do have a lawyer that I speak with.
That's good.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any further questions. You've been very clear.
It's going to be real good real soon.
And we have all the documents, so I don't
We have all the documents.
I'll turn it over to the rest of the committee in case they have any other questions for you. I appreciate you answering my questions. So I'll turn it over to them and see if they have questions, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good question. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's that?
No, we're here. I'm here.
Oh, she just said y'all have the documents. Did y'all view the documents that y'all received?
Yeah, we have all the documents, so we are going, we have to review everything, and we have seen some of it, so the determination comes after this call. We have to speak to him first.
No, I understand that, but I was just curious to review the documents.
Miguel has sent them. Yeah, Miguel has sent them.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Valerie or Shanika, do you guys have any questions?
But did you review the documents, Carmen and Shanika?
I've taken some notes throughout this conversation.
No, you didn't. And he asked you more than once.
Received the documents, and we've gotten them, and we're gonna go through everything and have a discussion.
That was the third.
Right. We wanted to hear your side, Connie, before we could make a decision, but we definitely appreciate you coming and speaking to us because, you made it make sense.
All right. Thank you for your time.
I made it make sense.
Okay. Shanika, do you have any questions before we let him go?
It made sense
Thank you so much, Alani.
to the EEOC.
Thank you. Okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a little closer to close this out. So it made sense to unemployment when I had an appeal and I showed them everything that I had accumulated over the years. It made sense to the EEOC when I showed them what NYU and 1199 was doing. And now we're here. But for some reason, it didn't make sense to you. But I understand when you got that promotion and that new gig, that was the price of admission. So I hope it was worth it. Because everybody that violated, I'm spinning the block. And believe me when I tell you, I'm not getting any enjoyment out of this. But y'all have fucked over far too many people for far too long. And now there's going to be a reckoning. And whether or not everyone else wants to fight for themselves, I'm not going to stop until I'm made whole. And everyone in this city knows what this union is and has been doing. The institution that I used to work for, what they are and have been doing. The connections between the two of them all the way back to, since forevermore, Teresa Bishkoff and Dennis Rivera, the Democratic moneymaker machine. While you run around pulling coup d'etats and playing in our faces, but you gallivant with the enemy. Word to APAC. Because, we just don't know what a computer is. But yeah, I'm going to get up out of here. It is what it is. We are in the diabolical den of demons, a.k.a. the Viper's Pit. Y'all keep your eyes to the stars, that head on a swivel. And our time is now. There are no excuses. Because everything has been laid out right before all of us to see. We are in the age of Aquarius, the age of revelations. All things are being revealed. And that excuse of, the big bad boogeyman, the white man, it's not a valid excuse because I've shown all of you, all of my opposition, except for the original offenders, all were POCs. So, I can only speak from my experiences, but I'm showing you what I'm showing you, and can't nobody call me a liar. So I don't want to hear about what we can't do. We're not getting shit accomplished because we let outsiders come into our house and fuck us over.
You American? Dirty black American?
Wait, what?
Huh?
No.
Who?
You.
As far as? I'm Haitian. Why? Where you from? What's your background? You American? Dirty black American?
Wait, what?
Huh?
I hope you got enough content.
Huh?
I hope you got enough content.
Enough footage?
I hope you got enough footage.
Yeah.
Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah, stop posting my voice.
Well, you know what? You get a lawyer.
Thanks, Alfred Clay.
I come here whenever. So this shop is locked. So you guys can go someplace else. because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice president who vote against the money that George asked for, the members' money.
Okay, got enough footage. Yeah. Stop posting my voice, okay? Stop posting my voice.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Bring it back and start growing that tree. Because there's a Jamaican saying, who run things? Who run things? Who run things? Things don't run us. We run things don't run us, okay? So go run it.
Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse
and they're fucking over their own people in the process. But if we don't stand on business and fight this fight, there ain't gonna be nothing left to fight for. But I digress. Y'all stay dangerous.
Black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse
so you guys can go someplace else, because I already tell my members the truth, right? Because I am one of the vice president who vote against the money that George asked for, the members' money.